Marks the 50th anniversary of the war in Vietnam. So, on this Memorial Day, we have a story of duty and honor.
David Hockett served 2 tours in Vietnam as a helicopter pilot, experiencing things that he will never forget, and you probably won't either. Our Don Nelson has more.
Well, this is a memory. This is what the Charlie model was all about.
Growing up on a ranch in Northeast Oregon, Hockett didn't know where his path would take him. But in 1966, things became very clear.
Then there's the 101st Airborne.
He was the captain in charge of a 5-helicopter squadron in Vietnam, providing support to the troops on the ground.
It can be described as hours and hours of boredom with moments of stark raving terror.
Every time they went up, there was always the danger of going down.
Helicopters were prime targets for the North Vietnamese that were in South Vietnam.
Flying in under the cover of darkness, finding a safe spot for the pickup was always a little tricky.
Oftentimes it was pitch black and you'd get radio signals that would tell you generally where they are, but sometimes they'd hold a flashlight up, sometimes a cigarette cupped. You land to those kind of things when it's like that.
The Hueys weren't entirely bulletproof. They were equipped with a little extra protection.
These are bulletproof shields that you pull forward. When you climb in there, you slide them back. There's one underneath and so forth. We were always cognizant of being shot from the bottom, and so some of us found these parts off of wrecked aircraft, and we put them in the seat and sat on them.
There were times when Lady Luck was not on Hockett's side.
I'm not here to tell war stories, but those were 4 times where we flat came out of the sky. And the one time that I got shot down, I was able to get it back up and fly it for a while, but then we ended up crashing in a artillery site.
Back it up, back it up, back it up. Come on. Like many Vietnam veterans, Hockett's return home was anything other than warm.
And I think that was the part that most of us remember, was the way we were treated by some of the younger generations and so forth. And I don't blame them for that, but it makes all of that effort and all of that expenditure of treasure and equipment and people and so forth meaningless. You wonder, could we have done something better with all of that?
Don Nelson, Idaho, on your side.
50 years later, and those feelings are still so raw.
They certainly are. These are all folks who were young, and at the time, you know, they were doing their service for their country, and rough time.
We lost many of them.